Thank you, Kaleb. You saw what he was wearing, right? I said, it's like the classroom, Kaleb. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Yeah. Hat comes off. It's like the classroom. All right, good afternoon and welcome. My name's Karyl White, for those of you that do not know me, however you say that. I am the Director of EMS Education here at Barton, and these fine people have had the pleasure of being with me for quite some time. I'm sure you heard about all the pleasures too. So actually I'm very impressed that we have this many people here with everything that's been going on for the last year plus, and these are December graduates, and we have a very difficult time getting December graduates to come back, and so thank you for coming back. This is the largest group of December graduates we've ever had come back. So well done, guys. This class went through a lot, as many of you out there know. We started out normal. They had a Grandview Plaza cohort, we had a Great Bend cohort. They hung out at their place and did a little Zoom, then they went and did their skills, and then once in a while, would you quit looking at me like that, Hillary, because you're just kind of... They kind of did their own thing, and then once in a while they'd go to Grandview Plaza together, and then they'd go to Great Bend together, and then midway through the second semester, COVID hit. And I chose to put them in an online for the rest of the semester, because, you know, that was only going to be about 6 weeks or so, and COVID was only going to last 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month or so. Surprise, it's still here, but we got them through it, and we decided in June we were going to put them back in the classroom. The biggest issue we had was we had to keep them separate. So Dean kept his part, which was a smaller cohort, up at Junction City, Grandview Plaza, and then I took the Great Bend group and told my new clinical coordinator at that time that Andrew is going to come help me with the larger group here at Grandview Plaza, or at Great Bend. So we started on that, and you guys have a really good idea of all of what they went through to get to where they are today, and all the hardships and everything they had to do. But what you don't know is what we had to go through. Yeah. So Andrew and I learned a lot over the course of time. I don't know about Dean, because Dean's students, they didn't have ADHD. They were a little more mature. They weren't, 100 miles an hour. What am I talking about? I don't know. I don't get it. So I don't think that, he had quite the same kind of group. I know he had his challenges, but Andrew and I learned a lot over the course of the 9 months that we had those guys. And one of the things we learned is don't be a patient with these guys. And guess who was almost always the patient? Because we could not put them in clinicals. That's why I told him he had to become helping me, because what was he going to do? He couldn't put anybody in clinicals, so he came and helped, and we were the patients a lot of times. So if you're a psych patient, never ever turn your back on Kaleb. Kaleb will just go get some ketamine because he doesn't want to talk to you. He wants nothing to do with even mentioning anything about you or anything else. He's just going to go get some ketamine and sedate you.
This is all from 1 day of class.
However, guess what? He got all kinds of psych patients at internship. It was great. He'd come back, he hated it. So it was great. We did find a way to keep Hillary quiet. So we just give her a scenario, and then we'd ignore her. And then we'd walk around chasing butterflies. And she had no idea what to do with that. She just stopped talking, and she didn't know what to do, and it was the most peaceful 15 minutes we had the entire semester. It was great. So we knew how to keep Hillary quiet. We learned that. We learned that Ryan, he missed his calling. He should have been in politics, or he should have gone into sales or something. Because this guy he owns his own transport service. Anybody that's around this area, he owns Barton County Transport Service. And by the time the summer semester was over, I think he had everybody working for him. We have people in Dodge City in this class, and he had them working for him. I don't understand, but he did, man. I'm waiting for my jacket still, just so you know. That's what he kept saying. So I don't know about the Grandview Plaza cohort on how they did, but, well, I do know about Gwen. I'm still wrapping my head around one on Gwen. So Gwen gets stressed out. And when Gwen gets stressed out, she seems to build things like tiki bars and stuff like that. I start getting these emails in the middle of December. She's at her pool building tiki bars. Who builds tiki bars at their pool in December? Seriously, Gwen?
We get it. It's nice you should come out and see it.
See? Tiki bars in December in the pool. We really worked you, didn't we? We ruined you probably, didn't you? Yeah. So I've taught more than 20 paramedic classes, and this class, no, I'm not going to tell you you're the best class. So chill out, guys. But I will tell you I had a lot of fun. The biggest reason I had a lot of fun was because I got to do what I haven't gotten to do in a long time. And that was I got to teach on a daily basis. And that's my gift, is teaching. And I enjoy teaching. And I think I surprised a few people, and a couple others over there, because they had no idea I could actually teach. They thought I was just that mean administrator that made them do things. But they actually realized that I can teach. But ultimately, Dean and Andrew and I learned that this class is very resilient. A little whiny at times, expected me to perform miracles at times. But for the most part, by the end of the day, man, they stepped it up. They did what they had to do to graduate on time. And for those of you that don't understand what that means, when they started back in June, they were 2 months behind. The Grandview Plaza group, they were fortunate from the standpoint that because they had a smaller cohort, they were able to go 1 day a week like normal. The Great Bend group could not do that. So they sucked it up, and they came twice a week for that whole summer.
You mean we have an option?
They came, and they, every one of those, all 12 of them stepped it up, and they got it done. And by the end of the summer, we were back on schedule, and they were ready for internship. I told them at the beginning of June, I said, guys, it's probably going to be March before you graduate. And they were supposed to graduate in December, and they stepped it up. I didn't have to change the test date or anything. So that's something that you guys really need to be proud of. So well done for that part of it. All right, so take this day and enjoy it. This day is all about you. You have chosen a profession that requires you to think about others and to put yourselves on the back burner. It's not about you on this profession. You've chosen an honorable profession. This is not something that you do for money. It's not something you do for recognition, because you're rarely going to get either one of those. Always remember you've chosen a profession that is a profession of service, that you're going to have to serve others, not yourselves. That's why you're always going to be broke, and you're going to be called a taxi driver most of the time. But just remember that it is for others and not yourselves, okay? Also remember that your journey has just begun. I know you're all thinking, no, we're done. We graduated, we tested, and by the way, these guys all tested and passed on the first time, so be proud of them. Taking the National Registry exam, especially when they missed 90% of their clinicals and had to do them in the classroom. And by the way, if I ever see another OB mannequin again, I had to do over 100 OB scenarios. I never want to see another mannequin again. But by the time they were ready, this class also, in order to get through internship, you have to do at least 30 team leads. This class was so ready to do their team leads that they were in and out of internship faster than just about any other class we've ever had, because they were ready, they were prepped and ready to go. They did a phenomenal job with that. Okay, you guys' heads are getting big, aren't they? So, all right, so always remember that this is a journey for you. I know you think that just because you just graduated and that you've got your jobs and everything else, please, I've told you this in class. don't stop learning, okay? Whatever you do, do not stop learning. This is a beginning. It's not the end, it's a beginning. So enjoy your life, enjoy learning, enjoy all the opportunities that you get. Love your job, love your family members at EMS. Everybody has an EMS family, love them. But always, always, always remember to love your family and your friends, because they are the most important and they come first, way before your EMS family comes. Do not forget that. To the families and friends that are here, thank you. Because you know what? You guys are the real heroes. These guys up front here, they think they had it hard. They think they were so stressed out. Trust us, we heard it all the time. It was you guys. You guys are the ones that really put up with it. I've been doing this a long time. I've been in EMS over 30 years. I'm only 26 years old, just so you know. Guys, don't do the math. Just trust me, I'm 26, okay? We know the sacrifices you had to make, and there were a lot of sacrifices the family and friends made. These guys think they made sacrifices. They weren't near as much as what you did, because you did it. You're the husband, you're the wife, you're the boyfriend, you're the girlfriend, you're the mom, you're the dad, you're the best friend, whatever it was. You're the one that had to put up with them going to 16 months of school. You're the one that had to put up with them studying at home when they studied. You're the one that had to put up with them going to 24 hours of internship and then turning around and going to 24 hours of work. You're the one that took care of the kids. Whatever it was, you're the one that did it. You missed anniversaries, they missed birthdays, you missed it together, but they missed that kind of stuff. And you also had to be the one that put up with the grouchy kid, guy, the person, whatever, that came home. Yeah, guys, you're not fooling us. We know that you go home and complain about us in the program, so yeah, we know. And you complain to them, and that's okay. But they put up with it. And so one of the things you guys need to make sure you're doing is you need to be very thankful for those people back behind you, because if it was not for them, you would not have made it through the program. So for this reason, these graduates are able to sit here, and I, Andrew and I especially, give you a great big thank you for being here today. So that's my welcome, and I appreciate everybody being here. Since I'm already up here, I'm going to kind of skip on the program. I know what it says next, but I'm going to kind of do a real quick. I'm already up here, so I'm going to just introduce my full-time staff that's sparse today. I do have a small full-time staff anyway, but I have an army of part-time staff and volunteers that help me. Otherwise, that we could not do this without them. Dean Dexter is my lead instructor. He lives up in the Junction City area. However, all of us have been affected by COVID, and it continues still. And life has gone on, even though in the middle of COVID, we've had stuff. This class has had stuff. We've had COVID issues where I've had to pull students out. They couldn't come to class for 2 weeks. We've had to shut down class a little bit. Then we've had students get back, and then they turn around and have to go back home for 2 weeks because of COVID, and same student or whatever, Gwen. And then there was, we've had custody battles. We've had minor surgeries. We've had all kinds of things. You're missing one person here that's supposed to be here today. She was here, and then she got a phone call that her grandfather's dying. So she's gone. So we did a quick courting of her and gave her her gown and stuff, and she headed home. So life didn't stop for us. Administration is the same way. Staff is the same way. Life didn't stop. COVID kept going, and we kept going, but we still had a lot of things happen in our lives as well, as I'm sure it has happened in your life. Dean didn't get to see his new grandson for 4 months, February, March, April, almost 4 months. They moved in with him this week, so Dean is finally getting to see his grandson for the first time, so I excused him so he could meet his grandson. So he is not here today. Again, life just happens, and unfortunately it fell on this day, and I can't begrudge him wanting to finally meet his grandson, especially when his wife got to go down and watch the birth. So Andrew, he is my clinical coordinator. He's been a clinical coordinator for a year now, a little over a year, and he's finally getting to clinical coordinate because the hospitals are finally letting us back in. He did a phenomenal job with this class. He helped me a lot. He's smarter than I am, so you guys all ought to thank him because he's the one that got you through this. So, but his primary job is to schedule our students at the clinicals and internship sites And what he probably hasn't figured out yet is our clinical sites are all the way from the Kansas City area to the Goodland area, north of Salina and down south of Harper. And he gets to visit all those sites eventually, so he hasn't figured that part out yet. Jenny Ladd is my program specialist. That's code for you get to do anything Karyl tells you to do, but really she takes care of my lab, and she was an integral part for this paramedic class because she always had, at the Great Bend site, had all the stuff set up for me. Jenny's not here today because she was born in Hawaii, raised in Kansas, but born in Hawaii, and she is probably on her way to Hawaii right now. So it's been her dream to go back there, and she finally had the opportunity, so she's on her way there. My secretary is, oh wait, I don't have a secretary. If anybody is looking for a job, come see me, I'll give you the website. So that's all I've got right now. Andrew, you're up, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
I would never fall in front of all these guys because I'm scared to let them.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Wow. Late afternoon. Sorry, Kaleb. Yeah, I'm really happy to see all of you guys again. This was, like Karyl said, this is my first, I should introduce myself. My name's Andrew Hartzell. I'm the clinical coordinator here. This is my first non-ambulance job, so it was a little weird getting used to it. And so I'm very blessed that you guys are my first class, and you guys were very flexible with, of course, when I start, COVID. So it made my job very difficult, but I got to go to class with you guys, and I had a blast. I don't know what Karyl said. I had fun. I look forward to it. It was fun. But it was tough. That's no surprise, and that's nothing new that you guys don't already know. You guys had to work extra hard. Being a former student and having to go through it, I know just in general, like when someone says paramedic school, you know what that means. It's going to be rough. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a long time of just constant studying. And you guys had the extra top of now we got to figure out things to get you to that point. And the fact that all of you are here and all you guys passed that first time, and man, you guys have really shown. I'm very proud of all of you. And I would have any of you treat any of my family any day, and that's a lot for me to say. So I just wanted to open with that. Very excited to see you guys. I would like to introduce the administration, and I'd like to say a couple things before that. Like most people this past year, Barton students have been affected by COVID-19. Me as the clinical coordinator, it became quickly apparent how and it was very challenging. It was going to keep our students in class and keep the clinical internship sites up, getting them opportunities to actually go out and practice their skills they're actually learning before they have to actually go and do it in a 911 setting. So that's a very integral part of this whole program. And we had to do, like Karyl was saying, a lot of adapting. And with the support of our administration and the college and everything like that, it made it possible. It's because the support, the students finished their semester online. We got to do all that. We were able to come back face-to-face for semesters 3 and 4, which we worked really hard. The administration was aggressive in their efforts to keep Barton staff and students safe as possible and still keep them in school. And the students worked really well with it. You guys did your part as well. I know it was a team effort with everybody, and we got through it. Though there were many on the COVID-driven team who implemented new processes to keep us safe, we would like to thank our immediate administration staff. Without them, the students would not be sitting here as some of Kansas' newest paramedics, and that's very true. Dr. Carl Hyman, our president, Elaine Simmons, vice president of instruction, Dr. Kathy Kotis, dean of workforce training and community education, Matt Connell, Executive Director of Healthcare and Public Service Education. Thank you, all of you, for the support of our program. It just wouldn't be a success with your guys' support. So I really appreciate that. I know the students really appreciate that. A lot of behind-the-scenes work was placed to keep us going. So All right. So, ready to cord or, no, not quite? Almost.
All right, our guest speaker has a big connection between both Barton and EMS in general, the world of EMS. I chose our guest speaker today not because of her position at the college. In fact, it has nothing to do with the position at the college, because it has everything to do with the fact that she is someone who has an intimate knowledge of being the daughter of somebody that has needed EMS multiple times. Elaine Simmons grew up at Barton. She is a Barton person. She bleeds Barton blue. She is a Barton graduate. While she was here, she was a student worker while attending Barton. She came back to Barton shortly after graduating from Fort Hays State University, and while she was at Barton, she's had a lot of hats. Just in the 20 years I've been here, she's had multiple hats, including secretary. Elaine, I need a secretary. All right, we're up. So anyway, she is the nice thing about Elaine, she has spent the majority of her career here at Barton on the technical side of things. And so she's very aware of and supports technical education programs such as EMS education, which is very important to us, and being able to keep our programs going and supporting them. Truly, Elaine is one of our big backers. So, Elaine, you're up.
All right. Well, first of all, let's say congratulations to our graduates. We are also very happy for you. As Karyl said, I am not standing before you as the Vice President of Instruction. Couldn't be further than that. I come to you today as a consumer of the healthcare industry. Unfortunately, far too much. In the last 10 years, I've been in and out of hospitals and doctors' offices and involved with EMS with my late father, as well as currently my mother. In fact, I just arrived back on campus not quite 2 hours ago. My mother was transported 9 days ago due to an occurrence at her home to a small hospital, and then moved on to an ICU. Moved back just this week to that small hospital, and will probably be there for a fair amount of time. And so my words today, I caught a couple things that Karyl said, and I'm going to hang on to those and try to do you right. Karyl talked about your positions, your industry, your roles as EMS personnel, the service that you provide, and how too often it seems thankless. My job here today, graduates, is to thank you, to honor you, and to tell you from a daughter's perspective, you are heroes. You see, from my viewpoint, in my testimonial back to you, you serve us first. You walk in wherever we may have fallen, and I'm beginning to understand, especially with this last occurrence with my mom, we don't fall or go down in the most easiest of places. You serve us first. You arrive. You have some idea of what you're walking into, but there's a lot of assessment, a lot of quick thinking. You come on the scene. You may face the patient alone. You may face the patient and that daughter or that wife. You have a lot ahead of you, and what we need from you as that whole scene rolls out, what do we look for in our worst moments as the patient or the loved ones? We look for your competence. My God, we need your competence, because you are that front line. We are praying that you get us to the next step. I just spoke to the nurses. We pray you get us there. We look for your competence. We look for your confidence. I want to tell you something, folks. I'm a tough old lady. I'm loud and I'm aggressive. But when things are hard, I look to you for your bravery, your confidence. You make me feel better. I look to you for reassurance, even if it's just this much, that we're going to get to the next moment. You come, You assess, you treat, you try to move us. I've never heard so much about a 4-point turn as I did last Wednesday. I'm not quite sure really what that is, but I watched it as they tried their best to get my mom removed from where she had had her incident. You transport us, you transfer us, and sometimes you see us at the end. You have a class member that saw my daddy at almost the end. Stacey, I will never, ever forget that you picked my daddy up the day before I lost him. I will never forget that you went to see him and you checked on him, and after we lost him some days later, you talked with me and you told me what that last ride was like. You have to know the powerful influence and care that you bring into our lives, the honor that you bring each and every time you make a run. You are heroes, and I don't for a moment neglect the fact that this is hard on you too. And you deal with all that you see and all that you do and all that you relive in your own individual ways, and you bring it back sometimes to your families, and they're there for you and they support you. But I also have seen enough of you in action to know that the training that you go through, the 16 months and more, the ongoing learning, as Karyl talked about, you bring your best selves. Even when we just kind of sat down, we don't really need much, we just need you to pick us up. Or maybe we were just lonely, and we shouldn't have really called, but we did. I've watched your colleagues over the years kneel on the ground beside my father and talk him through an anxiety attack. He didn't need to be transported to the hospital. He's just having a bad day. I've seen so many things that I wish I wouldn't have had to see, but I want you to hear this from a user, from a daughter. You do amazing things, and you make a difference every single day in the life of someone. And I know you have to put yourselves away to do that. And I applaud you, and I honor you. Thank you for making this choice. And remember this, don't you ever let anyone else in the healthcare industry boss you around. Don't you ever let them treat you like you don't matter, because you're first. You're the one that gets us to the next place. You hold your heads up high. You take that training that you've received and that you're practicing every single day, and you own that place because you deserve to own it. You are every bit as important as anyone else in that healthcare team, if not more. And I thank you, and I applaud you for all that you do. Congratulations.
Now, you can get down and do your thing. Okay, now the moment that everybody's been waiting for, including Andrew. He's very excited about this. Andrew's been through this once, but he's very excited about it. All right, let's go eat. Okay. All right, it's time to recognize all the effort you've expended in order to get that gold patch. And it's time to honor you with the cord only given to medical professionals. All right, so, Ashley Fowler. Ashley works full-time for Russell County EMS, and Ashley was a joy to have in class. No, she really was. Ashley kept us on our toes. She brought a game. She was a blast. She had a game that we played and everything, so, yeah. Well, our next one was supposed to be Olivia, but Olivia's, as I said, is gone. well, not gone. She went to Manhattan. Hillary Hornback. Hillary works full-time at Ford County EMS. Hillary, is that your real hair? Yes. Seriously? Okay. Hillary cut her hair off midway through his class and just started wearing just because she wanted to wear wigs. She just, you bet I do. Stacey Jordan. Stacey is the assistant director at Ellsworth County EMS. Had to go get her hair done the other day just so she could come here. Didn't come to work for me that day. Stacey. Kaleb Karnosky. No, I didn't say his other name. Kaleb is a full-time firefighter, paramedic at Great Bend Fire Department. Kaleb likes ketamine. Krueger. Karen's a full-time firefighter paramedic at Ford County EMS. Karen broke her arm during class. Karen just, and broke it again. And Preston Landers. Preston is also a full-time firefighter paramedic at Great Bend Fire Department and loves to challenge me. Preston has grown a lot over the last 2 years that I've known him. Ryan Oeser, salesman extraordinaire. Ryan has his own, like I said, he's the owner paramedic for Barton County Transport Service. He also sells lottery tickets, which I've never won yet. There's a reason. Gwenda Rutherford is a full-time paramedic at Marion County EMS. And somehow she managed to get her boss here. He didn't even come to his own courting. I can say that, Travis, since you were in my class. All right, so this concludes our courting. For those of you that have been around a little bit, you know that we do have, because you got many of you are going to graduation, so you've got graduation, and you really don't have time to run over into town to get anything to eat. So what we do, since we run this late, is we've got over in the classroom, so these 8 can get you to the classroom. We have some finger food like wings and chicken, yeah, that thing, and sliders and some things like that, cake, and there's drinks in the fridge, guys. Make sure your family gets drinks out of the fridge and stuff like that, okay? Students have to pay me, but the rest of you do not, so. Okay, so make sure that you guys, please go on over. There's plenty to eat, and make sure you guys get your parents and stuff over there, okay? All right? Thank you for coming, and please come over and eat, and congratulations to all of you.